Hey friends, welcome back to She's at It Again. If you're short on time, short on energy, but need to get dinner ready real quick, if you have a good supply of eggs, let me show you what might be a new recipe to you, but has been in our family for probably a good 30-something years, and we refer back to this when all those things happen. Short on energy, short on time, but want something still really good for dinner. So go with us to the kitchen as we try something hopefully new to you. All right, in the kitchen, I have my skillet heated up. This is sausage left over from day camp. That's our shortcut. We are going to link, I'll get my husband too, he's the editor. We'll link the video for making homemade sausage from just bulk ground pork and just a very minimal amount of spices, and you will be, I would say you'd be surprised, but I think you will be pleasantly shocked at how good this is, how inexpensive it is, and how little fat it has in it compared to what you would buy in prepackaged store-bought sausage. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball this, and I would say, of course, this is already cooked and crumbled up, but I would say possibly a half a pound of sausage. I won't put the whole thing in there, but we'll put about a half a pound in there. If you have a little casserole dish, this is I believe a 1.5 quart casserole dish. I'm going to get it ready by putting a little bit of butter in it and just kind of spreading it around in there to coat the dish. I don't think the eggs are going to stick to this because it'll have enough oil from the sausage in it to where I don't think it's going to stick to anything. But just for the sake of making sure it doesn't, because it'll have cheese in it as well. We're going to get some butter and swirl it around in there. And if you have a chunk left in the bottom, that's fine too. I normally have an apron on when I'm in the kitchen, especially when I have a video going, but it's too hot. It is the afternoon. It's almost 100 degrees outside, and I'm pretty much doing everything I can to keep from heating the kitchen up. So something that goes quickly, like this casserole, is really helpful in a day like this. I've been running errands today. The doggies went to the groomer, and they like going to Miss Nellie, and they came home looking naked and beautiful, but they still have their long eyelashes. So everybody's kind of worn out today. All right, get our sausage crumbled up and chopped up in as small pieces as you can get them. And I'm going to turn my skillet on about medium heat. I have 6 eggs in this container. And I have an overabundance of eggs because my friend's chickens are just laying like crazy. And so she keeps calling me and saying, I've got 3 dozen for you. And I'm never, ever going to tell her, nah, I've got too many eggs already. I had 3 dozen in my refrigerator. And she called me today and said, I have 3 dozen more for you if you want to swing by and get them on your way back from, I go out of town to go to a Kroger store. And so I said, sure. So 6 dozen eggs. So this is one of the reasons we're making eggs for dinner. So just get your eggs beaten well enough to where you don't see any yolks left in there. And I'm going to add about a cup of whole milk to the eggs. Turn the skillet down just a little bit. I also have about 4 ounces of green chilies. Now this came from a larger can that I had, and I had some left over, so I had it in the freezer in this container. So I would say it's about equal to a small can of green chilies. If you like more spice to yours, make sure you get the medium or the hotter kind, but I just like the mild kind in this. It has a little bit of cayenne in the sausage anyway, so you'll get a little bit of spice to that, but not a lot. It's not like offensively hot. The nice thing about this is you really don't have to preheat the oven unless you just want to, and I'm not going to. I'm going to heat it up in the little oven out in the sunroom. Again, not wanting to heat my kitchen up any more than what it already is. All right, I'm going to add about almost, let's see, I'd say about half a teaspoon of salt to the egg mixture, egg and milk mixture. You can always add more later, but you can't take it out, so make sure you don't over salt them ahead of time. Pour the eggs directly on top of your sausage and green chilies. In here, I have cheese. Now, I got to tell you what's funny about this being in this container. I shredded this. I have an attachment for a big KitchenAid mixer where I was using an auxiliary kitchen for day camp last week. So I was grating a lot of cheese. Well, one of them goes in this container. I also had sausage left over and put it in this container. I also had chocolate dip for fruit in this container. I had caramel dip for apples in a larger sour cream container. I also had, let's see, some kind of fruit or vegetables or something. Oh, I also had sloppy dog mix in 2 of these containers. I also had leftover frozen organic corn in these containers. So when day camp was over and I bring all the leftovers home just to start inviting people over and saying, help me eat this stuff, I don't want it to go to waste and I don't throw anything out. So my husband asked me, where's the, I think he was looking for the caramel dip. He said, where'd the caramel dip go? Where's the apples? And I said, in the garage refrigerator in a cottage cheese container. And he opens up the refrigerator and there's probably 8 of these in there. So it's kind of a big joke. He just stood there for a while going, any idea which one they might be in? For right now, I always have a lot of cottage cheese containers because I eat it every morning for breakfast. And I usually buy one of these containers at least once a week. And so it was kind of funny. I thought, oh, that's the perfect thing to store things in because they're going back to my house anyway. So it was kind of funny. It was like a puzzle to him. It sounded simple when I said, oh, it's in the cottage cheese container. And he thought he would open the refrigerator and find one, but instead there were more like 8. Okay, here's where the shortcut is. This is what I was referring to earlier, a shortcut on dinner. So normally you would just mix up your eggs, milk, green chilies, salt, the cheeses and stuff, put it in a casserole dish and start baking it. It could take up to 45 minutes to bake. But if you go the extra step, put it in a skillet. Start out by heating your sausage up in a skillet, or bacon if you want to use bacon. And then pour your eggs on top of that. You're going to start cooking this. And all you really are doing is doing that extra little heating up in the casserole dish to get it done. So that's your shortcut. This is probably going to take maybe 15 minutes as opposed to 45. So if you're in a hurry, this is how you get this done. Don't completely scramble it all the way, but you're going to cook it a lot. So you can see the scrambled eggs forming in the skillet like that. And notice I'm not continually stirring it. That's not how we do scrambled eggs. You take your scraper and just scrape it toward the center. The raw egg will fall into that path that you just made with your spatula. and the cooked eggs will kind of pile up in the center. Now you could, of course, cook it all the way in this if you wanted to. Put a lid on it, turn it down low, put your cheese on the top. We're about to put cheddar, and this is just some Monterey Jack that I cubed up earlier, and we're going to put that in there. Just a soft cheese for the center. You could use mozzarella or pepper jack if you wanted to, add a little bit more spice to it. You could use an electric skillet if you'd like to do that. Plug it in outside, keep from heating your kitchen up if it's in the summertime. And I'm going to serve fruit with this tonight, and this is going to be a complete dinner. I might slice up some sourdough and serve with it, but it really doesn't need a thing with it. It's just that good by itself. Okay, I'll get to that point. I'll start putting this cheese in. We'll put some of it in the eggs, and we'll put some on the top of it, so I'll reserve a little bit of it for the top. I would say I probably cut up between a half and a full cup of Monterey Jack, and then with the cheddar we'll add more to the top, so you're looking at about a cup of cheddar as well. Okay, this is about the consistency we want this. And I'll see if I can pour this where you can watch it, but I'm not promising anything. Okay, I got to turn around where I can get it all scraped out. I don't want anything sticking in there. If you're using an iron skillet, do not put soap in this. Just rinse it out with super hot water and a scrubber. And your skillet is good to go for the next time. Never, never, never put soap in an iron skillet. I know somebody says out there is going to go, I use soap in mine and it's fine. Well, that's good, but I've not had good results when I've tried to use soap in cast iron. So just personal experience, didn't work good for me. And one time I walked into the kitchen at church and somebody had an iron skillet, a very large iron skillet, soaking in soapy water overnight because something got stuck to it. Needless to say, that took a little bit of restoration. That was not a good idea. Okay, we'll put the rest of our Monterey Jack on the top. Whoopsie. Uh-oh. Some doggie's going to find that. It's up to you whether or not you want to use a lid on yours. I have a lid that fits this casserole dish, so I'll probably use a lid on mine. I'm not sure what time my husband's going to get in, so we'll eat dinner whenever he gets here. But it's not going to take long for this to heat up. And hopefully I'll remember to get a picture of this when it comes out of the oven. All right, so here's what it looks like for right now. And I'm going to go pop this in the oven and set it for about 20 minutes, and we'll see what it looks like when it's done. So we'll be right back. Okay, just took it out of the oven. It's obviously hot, that's the oven mitts. And I'll show you what it looks like. Cheesy and delicious. Okay, so that is your quick dinner when you're running short on time, but you have plenty of eggs. So thanks for joining us. The recipe is in the description, but it's just kind of up to you whatever you want to add to this. If you want to add other seasonings and stuff, that's fine too, but we like it just like this. But we look forward to sharing something again with you real soon. Bye guys.